Hello, everyone. Let's get right into it and what I do. We are Aluminum Oxide, and we are commercializing a novel, low-cost, environmentally friendly process for refining aluminum into ultra-high purity aluminum oxide, which is a raw material that's used in the production of lithium-ion batteries, semiconductors, and sapphire glass. What is aluminum oxide? Aluminum oxide operates on the grading scale of purity in the raw material scale. Our target business is the 4 nines and 5 nines purity markets, which sell for between $25,000 to $50,000 a ton, respectively. The problem is existing aluminum oxide production processes are very expensive to produce at high purities and not environmentally friendly, with 3 major manufacturers in China and 1 in Brazil closing their factories this last summer alone due to environmental pollution concerns from regulatory agencies in the country. Our solution is our process synthesizes $2 per kilogram of aluminum into $40 per kilogram of high purity aluminum oxide. Our new process operates at a fraction of the cost of existing processes on the market, and the only waste products we have are heat and hydrogen gas with no pollution concerns. The total addressable market of aluminum oxide at the high purities worldwide in 2019 is 40,000 tons a year annually, a $3.2 billion market, and it's forecast to grow by 2024 to 86,000 tons a year annually, a $6.5 billion market, more than doubling. The competition for production of aluminum oxide is 6 major manufacturers, 3 in China, 1 in Japan, 1 in South Africa, and 1 in France. Out of all these competitors, our lowest cost competitor has a forecast cost of production in the future of $10,000 a ton, which they will sell for $25,000 a ton at 4 nines purity. Our radically different financials are we have a cost of production of $1,000 a ton, which we will sell for $20,000 a ton and sell it for higher 5 nines purities and operate a business at 95% gross margin. The go-to market customers for aluminum oxide are lithium-ion battery separator manufacturers. High-purity aluminum oxide-coated battery separator membranes were first commercialized in 2008 in response to demand for the lithium-ion batteries that could have better thermal stability, better short-out protection, and faster charging speeds. And hence, the rapid rise in demand for this material worldwide with its intrinsic ties to the lithium-ion battery market and the high-technology sectors. We want to operate our fully scalable technology at any manufacturing scale and ultimately see it be able to reach 24,000 tons a year or more of production, which would capture $1 billion in revenue of the market and allow this production process to become the dominant distributor of aluminum oxide worldwide. The team is myself, Shawn Headley, a UC Davis engineer and a researcher in the Woodall Laboratory, my co-founder, Peter Bell, a 25-year entrepreneur with 3 startups to date, including a biofuel venture with Willie Nelson, and our technical advisors, Dr. Jerry Woodall, the inventor of this process, and the inventor of the heterojunction bipolar transistor, a device that's used in every single cell phone today. And he was a former IBM fellow who made the company $5.2 billion estimated with his patents alone over his time at the company. And Tim Keller, the founder of Inventopia, a heavy makerspace that's aimed at helping manufacturing startups get the factory space and equipment they need to go out and start producing in the world. Thank you.
Questions?
Oh, yes. We have questions.
From the judges?
Or me standing around.
2 quick questions. What sort of IP protection do you have around the process? And then 2, what sort of CapEx is needed to prove out at a pilot scale or a larger plant scale before one of these 6 major manufacturers does a full rip and replace, which I'm guessing is not going to be cheap?
Okay, so our current IP situation is we have 6 prior existing patents that we're licensing from Dr. Woodall. And then we want to take this technology and go out and develop kind of an IP moat around it, which would involve trade secret of some of the things we do, and then defensive white space patents around the process. And then your other question is what's stopping a rip and replace from the other manufacturers, essentially?
How much CapEx am I going to have to put into the company to prove out at such a scale before one of these major manufacturers decides to overhaul what I'm guessing are very large, very expensive plants?
Our lowest cost competitor had money put in. Their capital cost was about $270 million to produce it. And to prove our technology and what we're doing, we're looking for between $1 to $10 million to go out, prove that we're producing the material and that we're selling to customers and doing this, and then it's viable and other companies can do it.
So what happens to that $270 million plant? Are there pieces you can pull out and then put your technology in to modify it, or is it a full, transformation of that process, which is going to nullify their existing investment?
It would probably be many processes. Some start with aluminum oxide and just purify it the whole way. This process could replace processes that are using aluminum metal to produce aluminum oxide, and there are some existing. I think that $270 million capital investment is one of those processes that uses aluminum metal to then make aluminum oxide, and this production process could just go in and integrate with that and replace some of the manufacturing.